Albert Einstein, the rebel who unlocked the universe. Part 1. Introduction and the English Parchment Method. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to English Parchment. This is the place where we turn the pages of history to help you master the English language. Today we are exploring the life of perhaps the most famous scientist who ever lived, Albert Einstein. You probably know his face, the wild white hair and the kind eyes. But do you know the story of the man who failed to fit in? Before we dive into the mind of a genius, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to English Parchment. We are on a mission to make English learning deep, interesting, and effective, and we can't do it without you. Today, we are using the active visualization technique. 1. Visualize the concepts. When we talk about curving space or light speed, try to see these things in your mind. Connecting a visual image to an English word is the fastest way to remember it. 2. Narrative pacing. This is a long-form video. Don't worry if you don't understand every technical word. Focus on the story. If you understand 70%, you are doing great. 3. The 20-minute challenge. By finishing this video, you are proving that your English stamina is growing. This is a 2,200-word journey designed specifically for B1 learners. We often think of geniuses as perfect students who always have the right answers. But did you know that Albert Einstein didn't start speaking until he was 3 years old? His teachers told his parents he would never amount to anything. He was a clerk in a quiet office when he wrote the papers that changed the world. Today on English Parchment, we look at how a man who loved his violin and hated socks became the person who explained the stars. Stay with us until the end, because we will see how Einstein's theories are helping us navigate the world right now, in 2026. Part 2. The Boy Who Asked Why. Our story begins in Ulm, Germany, in 1879. Albert was a quiet, almost silent child. While other children were running and playing, Albert preferred to sit alone and think. His parents, Hermann and Pauline, were worried. In fact, for a long time, they feared their son had a learning disability because he spoke so late. When Albert was 5 years old, something happened that changed his life. His father showed him a simple pocket compass. The young boy was fascinated. Why did the needle always point north? There was no visible force pulling it. This was Albert's first realization that there was something hidden behind things. A deep, logical order to the universe. He was a curious child, but he hated school. At that time, German schools were very strict. Students had to memorize facts and follow orders like soldiers. Albert was a rebel. He asked too many questions. One of his teachers famously told him, "Your presence in the class destroys the respect of the students for me." Albert didn't care about grades. He cared about truth. He loved the music of mathematics and the logic of physics. By the age of 12, he had taught himself advanced geometry. Part 3. The Path to Switzerland and the Failure Myth. When Albert was a teenager, his father's business failed and the family moved to Italy. Albert stayed in Munich to finish his studies, but he was miserable. Eventually, he quit school and joined his family. He wanted to go to the famous Polytechnic in Zurich, Switzerland. This is where a famous myth begins. Many people say, Einstein failed math. This is not quite true. When he took the entrance exam for the university, he He was 2 years younger than most students. He passed the math and science sections with flying colors, but he failed the language and history sections. He had to spend a year in a smaller Swiss school to finish his diploma. In Switzerland, he finally found a school that he liked. It was a place that encouraged students to think for themselves. It was here that Albert began to wonder, what would happen if I could ride on a beam of light? This simple thought experiment would eventually lead to the greatest scientific discovery of all time. Part 4. The Patent Office and the Miracle Year. After university, Albert struggled. He couldn't find a job as a teacher because his professors didn't like his rebellious attitude. For 2 years, he was unemployed and depressed. Finally, a friend helped him get a job as a technical expert 3rd class at the patent office in Bern. This sounded like a boring job, but for Albert, it was perfect. He spent his days looking at inventions and explaining how they worked. This taught him how to see the core of a problem. Because he was so fast at his job, he had hours of free time every day to sit at his desk and do his own research. The year was 1905. Historians now call it his annus mirabilis, his miracle year. While working a full-time job and raising a young son with his wife, Mileva Maric, Albert wrote 4 scientific papers that changed everything. 1. He proved that atoms really exist. 2. He explained the photoelectric effect, which is how your solar panels work today. 3. He introduced special relativity. 4. He created the most famous equation in history, E equals mc squared. This equation showed that energy and matter are actually the same thing. A tiny amount of matter can be turned into a massive amount of energy. At age 26, the quiet clerk in Bern had officially rewritten the laws of physics. Part 5. General Relativity and the Curvature of Space. Albert was now becoming famous in the world of science, but he wasn't satisfied. He had explained how things move, but he hadn't explained gravity. For 10 years, he worked on a new theory. He called it general relativity. He had a happy thought. Imagine a man falling from a roof. While he is falling, he doesn't feel his own weight. This led Albert to a revolutionary idea. Gravity isn't a pull like a magnet. Instead, space and time are like a giant fabric. Large objects like the sun or the earth sit on this fabric and bend it. Imagine putting a bowling ball on a trampoline. The ball makes a hole in the fabric. If you roll a small marble near the bowling ball, it will roll toward it, not because of an invisible string, but because the fabric is curved. In 1919, during a solar eclipse, scientists tested his theory. They proved that light from distant stars actually bends when it passes near the sun. The headlines of the newspapers screamed, "Revolution in science." Suddenly, Albert Einstein was more famous than a movie star. He was the man who could see the invisible shape of the universe. Part 6. Fame, Peace, and the Rise of Darkness. The 1920s were a time of travel for Einstein. He won the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on light, not relativity, and traveled the world to talk about science and peace. He was a committed pacifist. He believed that the world should have no borders and that science should be used only for the benefit of humanity. But the world was changing. In his home country of Germany, the Nazi Party was rising to power. Because Einstein was Jewish and a world-famous intellectual, he became a target. The Nazis called his work Jewish physics and burned his books. In 1932, while Albert was visiting the United States, he realized he could never go back to Germany. He accepted a position at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. He spent the rest of his life there, walking the quiet streets in his old sweater, talking to students, and working on his next big idea. Part 7. The Letter That Changed the World. Even though Einstein was a man of peace, he was forced to make a terrible decision. In 1939, he received news that German scientists had discovered how to split the atom. He feared that the Nazis would build a powerful new bomb. Encouraged by other scientists, Einstein signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He warned the president that the US must start its own research. This led to the Manhattan Project and the creation of the atomic bomb. Einstein did not work on the bomb himself. He was considered a security risk because of his political views. But when he heard that the bomb had been used on Hiroshima, he was devastated. He spent the rest of his life working for nuclear disarmament. He famously said, "I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." Part 8. The Later Years and the Theory of Everything. In his final decades, Einstein became a lonely figure in the world of science. He didn't like the new theory called quantum mechanics. He didn't like the idea that the universe was based on chance or probability. He famously told his friend Niels Bohr, "God does not play dice with the universe." He spent his time trying to find a unified field theory, one single equation that would explain all the forces of nature, from the movement of planets to the behavior of atoms. He never found it. He died in 1955, still working on equations in his hospital bed. But here is the amazing thing. Einstein was right about more things than he knew. He predicted black holes, gravitational waves, and the expansion of the universe, things that scientists are still proving today. Part 9. Einstein in 2026. Why he is still winning. As we stand here on March 3rd, 2026, Albert Einstein is more relevant than ever. His theories are not just for textbooks, they are part of your daily life. 1. GPS. Did you use a map on your phone today? The satellites in space move very fast and are further from the Earth's gravity. Because of this, time moves differently for them, as Einstein predicted. If we didn't use Einstein's equations, your GPS would be wrong by 10 kilometers every single day. 2. Black holes. In the last few years, we have seen the first real images of black holes. They look exactly like the math Einstein wrote on a chalkboard over 100 years ago. 3. Gravitational waves. We are now using massive lasers to hear the ripples in space caused by colliding stars. This is literally listening to the fabric of space that Einstein described. In 2026, as we talk about artificial intelligence and space travel to Mars, we are still using Einstein's brain. He taught us that imagination is more important than knowledge. He taught us that a single person, sitting in a quiet office with a pen and a dream, can change the entire history of the world. Part 10. Conclusion and Reflection. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this long journey through the stars and the mind of Albert Einstein here on English Parchment. If you made it this far, your English skills are truly reaching a new level. You have practiced listening to complex ideas, followed a long story, and learned some of the most important words in the history of science. Einstein once said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning." That is our goal here at English Parchment, to keep you curious about the world and your own potential. Now, let's have a discussion. Einstein was a scientist, but he was also a philosopher. He believed that imagination is more important than knowledge. Do you agree with him? Can you think of a time when your imagination helped you solve a problem that books could not? Let us know in the comments below. In English, we love hearing your stories. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to English Parchment. Every new subscriber helps us keep this channel alive and helps us bring more history to learners around the world. Check the description for the full transcript of this video. We will see you in the next episode, where we will look at another incredible figure who changed our world. Keep reading, keep listening, and keep dreaming with English Parchment. Goodbye for now.